What's up, folks? Welcome to Nino'sCorner.tv. I'm with my buddy, John Carman, a United States Secret Service, former United States Secret Service for Carter and Ford, and actually caught the guy, or questioned the guy, Hinckley, that
detained him. Yeah.
Detained him, yeah. You had the instincts to do that before that even ever went down. So great instincts here. The guy knows his profession, knows what he's talking about. I love having you on. John Carman, thank you so much for joining me.
Anytime. It's always good to be on the show.
All right, folks. Well, the Fed's out of options. Rate cuts, money printing, balance sheet reversals. They call it policy, but it's really panic. Inflation's eating savings. The job market's showing and slowing, and confidence in the dollar is fading away fast. For decades, the Fed has built a house on paper, and now it's starting to burn, folks. That's why smart investors are moving to what's real. That's gold and silver. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com and get your free wealth protection kit today. Noblegoldinvestments.com, free wealth protection. It's pretty awesome, folks. I deal with 𝗀𝗂𝗋𝗶𝗋 personally, and he's helped me out on my portfolio. So there you go. Noble Gold Investments, get started. John, all right, man, let me pull up this article because I saw this. I was like, I got to get John on to talk about this. This is crazy. So here we are. Deep state kill teams. I mean, what? On the hunt. Leaked assassination orders push Trump's top officials, military commanders, and whistleblowers into hiding. And they're not really hiding if they're saying they're going into military bases. I mean, okay, so they're going into military bases. I would imagine, I think those are just compromises anywhere else, because here in El Paso, I remember Fort Bliss, they were like bringing in illegals over there and flying them out to wherever they want to go. So how is this a safe place for anybody?
It isn't. That's the whole point.
Okay, so they're not.
Yeah. I was born and raised on top secret military bases, literally. Okay. I didn't realize about the top secret stuff till later, but as I was going through high school. But I'll give you an idea. Tinkerfield Air Force Base, Millington, Tennessee, some obscure place in Beeville, Texas, which is actually Kingsville, then back to San Diego, back to Beeville, then to a place in Japan called Naval Air Station 𝗬𝗏𝗏, 1967, and that 10 years before was where a guy named Lee Harvey Oswald was stationed, by the way.
At the military bases.
At the military
But we all know that he was just a patsy.
I know. And he was not a bad guy. He didn't.
But he was a psyop, right? He was.
That's right. They used him. The deep state, as we call it now. Then I transferred over to a place in China Lake, Naval Weapons Center, China Lake. Now they changed the name and made it NAWS. Big deal. It's the same thing. That is the largest test station in the United States, if not in the world. That's where they test things like the Tomahawk, the Sparrows, F4s, F-16s, B-2s, and all these other places. They have other places they do alternate testing as well. If you want me to tell you about the undercover work I did there, that proves a point right there. Even the base commander and a relative was involved in narcotics. I was busting people through the Naval Intelligence Service, NIS, and doing that before I even went to college. And by the time I got into college, well, it's just a call come in. Before I finished college in 74, that's when I went straight into the Secret Service. That's after they do 10 months of a background check. Mine took 10 months.
Do they even do that anymore, you think?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It just takes a while. But if you realize that the military bases, and I'm in Southern California right now, I've been in these military bases as well, as a dependent, as a law enforcement, federal law enforcement, so on and so forth. I know their operations, how they work, and things like that. They're also a targeted area. So if you think you're a bad country, a communist country, let's say China, I'm not going to pick on the other guy because they're effing with Putin right now, is that any military base along the eastern seaboard, including the White House area and including D.C., is a target ground zero. So if they think they're going to be safe by going to Andrews, for instance, like where they hid that guy Michael Leroy Byrd after the Ashley Babbitt murder,
right?
They hid him out there.
But doesn't it matter who's what administration is in charge? I mean, now that Trump's in charge, and
well, it does,
a lot of these generals.
He can cut back. I'll give you an example. I knew 𝗀𝗂𝗁𝗂𝗃 down in 𝗀𝗂𝗁𝗃, and he was killed, abducted, and tortured in Mexico. And then under the Reagan administration, we did Operation 𝗀𝗂𝗁𝗂𝗃 at the border. We shut down the border and did all this other stuff. They have 3 people that are still allegedly under witness security that's costing the taxpayers millions of dollars because it was that sensitive. Well, that's because the CIA guy, Felix Rodriguez, connected to 𝗀𝗂𝗶𝗹 Bush, was involved. See what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's one administration against the other.
I get that, but I mean, Pete Hegseth just had that summons with the generals. They laid down the law. I mean, I still don't trust. I mean, I obviously we know there's still a lot of deep state rats everywhere. So, but you're telling my audience right now the last place that they're safe is these military bases. That's where they're the least safe, is what you're saying?
Yeah, they're going to have to go to another alternate top secret military base, non-disclosed, or you've heard of continuity of government, COG. So that means if they think there's a nuclear event, they have to whisk everybody out and get them on a plane or tunnel or something to get them the hell out of Dodge so they can get below the equator to a place like Australia, New Zealand, or some other place. And who was it that was visiting Australia not too long ago with her hubby? Kamala Harris.
Oh yeah.
Why would she go down to Australia? Because she's shopping. She wants to make sure everything is nice and neat before they have to go there. And that's what they all do. So you got Bushes, Clintons, Obamas, Bidens, and then up to Trump. They all have a place that they can go in case something happens.
So Obama's been seen in London, the last few months, coming out of there with security detail, just with his head down, looking like
that's a connection to the Muslims.
Okay.
London or England is being taken over by the Muslims. I suggest people watch.
But I mean, he's looking for a way out. I would imagine he knows Trump's hot on his ass. He knows Trump's coming for him. I would imagine he's trying to work some kind of deal with London. That's where my common sense.
Well, London does not have a reciprocal agreement unless it's like if they indict somebody, they want to go to a country that they can't get extradited. I can't spit it out. That would be like Switzerland or some of these other countries. You could look it up on the internet. By the way, related to the Muslim thing, I've been looking at this Kingdom of Heaven movie recently because of Saladin, who was a very famous general on the Islamic side. People need to watch that movie. They really need to watch what's going on because I know those aspects too. Go ahead.
So let me ask you this. So they're it's publicly out there that they're going to retreat to these military bases. I mean, why would they put that out there? Why would they say they're going to a military base and then maybe put them in a witness protection program? I mean, supposedly the cartels are after them, right? They're putting hits on their heads. There's bounty.
No. This is not just cartels. We're talking deep state people from.
Okay.
The Democrats and the deep state are into, like BlackRock was mentioned. So let's pick on BlackRock. Those people are into the millions and millions and billions of dollars. So when they put stuff out there, those other guys that hit and missed, and the guy, Maxwell Urich, that was on the AGR building last year, July 13th, Roth, who just got convicted, people like that, those are very low-level amateurs and stuff like that. Oh,
so okay. Here's the Minnesota man that was arrested after allegedly Minnesota man arrested after allegedly offering $45,000 for the killing of 𝗵𝗃𝗃.
Wow, that was cheap.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, we have a $50 million bounty on Maduro, and then you would think. I bet you there's real bounties on these people's heads that are way more than this.
Clear. The United States government put up bounties on Osama bin Laden, 10, 15, maybe up to 25 million, and they don't really go that high. But when they put it up high enough that you can get witness security, comfort for the rest of your life. Felix Rodriguez lives in the Miami area. He's got a $25 million home. 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝗋 supposedly had a place, $35 million home with security and all these other things. You can't get a place with proper security and live in a location where you can live the rest of your life in some sort of comfort unless you've got upwards of 35, 40, 50 million or more. And yet they're putting out these trivial things here. Everything you see in the media is to be questioned.
Right. Do you think maybe they're just putting these out there to throw people off or give an excuse on why they got to be sent to the military bases. I mean, I don't see. I have a lot of questions about this. I think it's bait.
Everything that you watch. I just watched something on one of the news services just earlier, about an hour ago, and they used a certain word, infrastructure. Okay, and I was just looking that word up too, QFS, about the quality something infrastructure thing. The CIA owns the news media. When they put out these BS stories, they write them up a certain way, just like 3 Days of the Condor with Robert Redford, where they put code words in the paragraphs to put out messages to their agents and certain people. So when I read stuff, I read it and I scan it. Does that make sense? It may make sense, but when I see certain buzzwords that stand out, that's an alert. Those are trigger words. Those are certain words that
they're like signaling each other,
yes.
Or like, okay.
Yeah. Remember, continuity of government, Australia, New Zealand, below the equator. That's a common thing among certain people. Get below the equator.
So let's try this out for a second. Let me just show this article here.
Go ahead.
And let's see if you find any buzzwords. I can see something maybe like Minnesota man arrested. Minnesota, that's where the one governor that Holtz or Tim Holt. What's the guy's name that ran with Kamala? Someone put it in the comments. Escaped my mind. But Minnesota man arrested for allegedly offering 45,000. Is anything sticking out to you here? 45,000. That's like 45. I know, but 45. I mean, I'm trying to dissect this with you, and I'm probably doing a very poor job here. But 45, would that be President 45, Trump? I mean.
Oh yeah. Good point. Let me.
You get what I'm saying here? Do you see what I'm trying to do? Like I'm trying to dissect.
Every time you see something where they're putting out certain numbers, I
Tyler
Avalos all the time.
Tyler Avalos, same name as Tyler Robinson. Tyler, really?
Yes. Avalos is like a standard Hispanic name, but it may not have anything to do with it. But since you're dissecting it that way, I'll tell you, the numbers mean stuff. I get gematria numbers all the time. So I see certain things, 13 this, 13 that, 45, 47. What did James Comey get indicted for recently? And he was putting out 86, 47.
Yeah, right.
They know what they're doing.
But what would October 16th mean? Does that ring a bell to you or anything? Does that stand out to you at all? 16?
Huh. That's police code for prisoner, 1016. I've got two 1016s en route.
Okay. All right. Let's see if we can do this. This is kind of fun, folks.
Oh, yeah. You could do the 29.
But 45 sticks out as Trump.
Yeah.
Number 45, Tyler, same name as Tyler Robinson. Maybe he's a patsy. 29.
Anytime they use code words, even FBI, when they're deep undercover, they don't use their code name. They don't use their real name. They use a Russian name. They do that intentionally. So all the intel, when it gets picked up by somebody else, they think, oh, that's the Russians doing something. No, that's FBI doing some of the stuff for the CIA.
So there's so much here. I mean, maybe my audience can help out. So,
look at the agent's name, 𝗂𝗃. Caleb is a religious name.
Okay.
Those guys are infamous for being like LDS, Latter-day Saints, and stuff like that. And then you can get into all the other religious connections.
The TikTok post included a picture of Bonnie with a sniper scope red dot on her forehead.
That's intentional right there. They're actually showing you what the target is.
Right, but a red dot on her forehead would be like, to me, like.
Well, that's a laser.
Right, I know, but what's a double meaning to that? Could that mean India?
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like, is that what I don't know.
Now that you mention it, I'm very familiar with a case that happened just several years ago. They had Pakistani agents, and we just made special agreements with India. Okay. Pakistan had two agents in Washington, D.C., getting friendly with Secret Service personnel at the building these guys lived. How would they know that? Surveillance, intel, information from the deep state, information from the Democrat side, so that they could get close to somebody. And once they get enough information, they friend this guy, they give him gifts and do all kinds of illegal stuff that they try to persuade him to see if he's bendable. And if he is, they'll get an insider that actually works inside the Secret Service at the White House. How deep can you get?
Right. So TikTok, Google, and Comcast helped the FBI trace a suspect. The affidavit says, learning he signed up for the platform on a Samsung Galaxy phone. Does that mean anything to you?
Anytime they're putting out the type of phone, the type of technology, I don't use that technology for security reasons. I use a special flip phone, which is bounced off a satellite on a special.
So is this alarm? Is this saying don't have that phone? Basically, is that what this is signaling to these people? Don't use these type of phones.
Well, they could, but the fact is that he signed up for the platform on a Samsung. Galaxies have CCP chips. That's from China.
Well, there
Just
you go.
like when Bibi Netanyahu had all these special phones that came into Israel over a year ago, I guess, and they delayed them at their customs for 90 days. They went and put in special SIM cards or special devices that were just thin enough with enough Simtex in it and activate it and blow it up at the right moment for all the people that were Hamas and all these terrorist groups. They could do all kinds of stuff with technology.
I mean, there's so much here that we could look into. July 2022. The suspect has a rap sheet that includes convictions for July 2022, stalking case in Dakota County, and a domestic battery charge in Polk County, Florida.
Yes.
There's a
I look at dates all
in 2016.
The time. Yep.
Wasn't there 16 up here earlier?
Well, that would be 8, the month, the day, the year, 8, 2016.
Oh.
You know, that gets into gematria, but it's also into the spiritual thing that I do.
I mean, is this real? I mean, I feel like it's just kind of. I mean, maybe we might be reaching too much here, but I don't know.
Oh no, you're doing okay. All you have to do is reach a little bit more, and you'll be surprised at what you get. But the fact is, here's a guy who's had a misdemeanor battery charge out of Dakota County, and it was reduced from felony. Depending on who it is, if they have a domestic and it's a felony, they have to take all your guns. At least that's what everybody's doing. But that's kind of off subject a little bit. Now they introduced Antichrist, frequency asked question book thing.
It says anarchist. It says.
Yeah. But we are in the
anarchist.
Times.
Okay, so hold on. The suspect identifies as an anarchist. According to the affidavit.
But you heard what I said. I scanned it so quick, it was Antichrist.
Yeah, you said Antichrist. Yeah. Well, maybe
see what I mean?
Right.
That's how they do it. They'll throw another word in there that's so close to the other word, it's like a typo.
Okay. Pin this message.
Anarchist, Antichrist.
Anarchism advocates for the replacement of the state with stateless societies and volunteer-free associations, the affidavit says. I mean, I think there's something to it, man. I agree with you on that. I think that I know for a fact, like you read a headline, they're always flagging or putting buzzwords or there's a way to decode this, in my opinion. I think,
in other words, if the article looks a little frivolous,
I think they're signaling to each other stuff.
That's right.
Code. They're talking in code. Yeah, absolutely. That's interesting. Folks, give me your thoughts down below. Put a comment. Please like and share this video. John Carman's doing a hell of a job. He's a hell of a patriot. I'm going to put his Venmo down below because the man needs to go buy some tacos, he said. So, yep. John Carman 17, baby. John Carman 17 is his Venmo. I put it down there below. Help the man go get some tacos, folks. Thanks, John, for joining me. Let's go to Nino's Corner.tv and wrap it up there.
Okay.